Stephen Bunn, your host with White Labs, full service marketing agency. Today's guest is Cigdem. Cigdem, feel free to introduce yourself and let our viewers know about your background.
Hi, thanks for having me on today. I'm Cigdem Knebel. I'm the founder and author of Simple Words books. We write and create decodable books for kids who are struggling to read or are new to reading, and also kids who are learning English as a second language.
Awesome. What inspired you to create the brand?
I tried to find books that were, longer, they're engaging stories that were decodable, meaning like using simpler words that are taught to kids who are learning to read at an earlier level. For my son, when he was diagnosed with dyslexia, and when we couldn't find any that was easy to read, but was like a big chapter books, like a second, third grader would read, I started to write for him, and I started sharing it with other people. I clearly saw a need, and then I became an author, and then we created our publishing company and started publishing other authors' books so that we would have a lot of different options for the readers.
That's amazing. Who is your ideal target audience?
So my ideal target audience, if you look at like who's purchasing the books, would be special education teachers and parents who are looking for books for their kids to read at home for fun and really discover the love of reading. And anybody who's working with students who are dyslexic or again, like English as a second language, any tutors, any learning centers.
Awesome. What makes you're in a very competitive space. What makes you different than your competitors?
So if you look at the whole children's books, of course, the Decodable, which is now exploding, and it's been a very big buzzword in the publishing world. We're decodable, so we definitely differentiate ourselves for using words from a smaller pool of words that are easier to read for kids who are learning to read. But if you look at the decodable book world, what really differentiates us is we write bigger chapter books. So we have books that are over 10,000 words, and and engaging stories. They're not the simple ones that you open and say, "Oh, a cat sat on a mat." We have, like, for example, one of our bestsellers, Fox Hunt. You can see, this is like a really big kids book. I don't know if you can really see it.
Yeah, you can.
But and we also try that we are very data driven when it comes to analyzing our decodability. We make sure that we have a very clear list of scope and sequence at the back of each book, which explains what words we use, how frequently they are used, and they're broken down by the phonics rules that they follow. Meaning that a parent, a teacher could easily figure out if the reader has been explicitly taught the rules that are included in that book, and if they can comfortably read it or not. So that data analysis is really something we're very proud of.
That's amazing. What are your most popular best-selling books?
So as I said, Fox Hunt is great. We have decodable readers that are shorter. These are books that really focus on a single phonics pattern. We recently published Emily Gibbons, which is she's pretty big in the OG world, her story collection. And another book that we're very proud of is I'm really inspired by is Amir's Baraka, Undiagnosed. This is not decodable, but it is his biography. And if you don't know Amir, he is a daytime Emmy nominated actor, and who was brought up in the very rough parts of New Orleans. He has been in and out of jail. He was a drug dealer. He was incarcerated for manslaughter, and he was diagnosed with dyslexia at age 23 behind the bars. And once he started to read and write, his life has changed, and now he's quite a famous actor on cable TV. And it really focuses on the importance of literacy and how we could change the school to prison pipeline. It's very inspiring.
Awesome. And you're an author yourself, right? I see you have some books in there.
Yes, so I have 16 books. All the chapter books are mine. And we have Jody Reiner and Emily Gibbons as part of our Decodable book series as well. They have decodable readers and decodable story collection.
So what's your favorite?
Of all the books,
Yes.
or
And in general, of your books on the site, what is your favorite book on there?
I would say Amir's book is my favorite. I
Okay.
know it's not decodable,
Mhm.
but his story is so inspirational, and it just clearly shows what a difference literacy makes in a person's future and a projected future. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, speaking of future, what is the future plan for yourself in simple words?
So we're going to continue working with more authors and creating more books that are decodable. We are very proud that we are able to write in different genres. We are planning to expand that as well. So we want to go into more sci-fi, expand our fantasy as well, and if possible, we want to go into historical fiction. It's a tougher genre to break in with decodable words because there's so many words that are not decodable that we cannot use. But that's something that we are very seriously focusing on, and also expanding our selection in the lower parts of our scope and sequence using even easier words, but continuing to create decodable chapter books.
Gotcha. Well, since becoming an entrepreneur and starting this amazing brand, what are some challenges that you faced and how were you able to overcome them?
I think the biggest challenge I faced was what I put as limitations to myself. The worry about like will I be able to do this on my own, and all the limiting beliefs that I had, and then of course the fear of failure, then followed by fear of success. Sometimes like doubting myself unnecessarily. But through experience, it's just I feel like I have proven to myself that I can do this. And once I accepted that this was a business, and I was doing quite well with it, I think things really started to go exponential. So I have to say I was the biggest obstacle on my own way.
And you started in 2018, you said?
2016.
2016. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. What's been the most successful marketing activity to promote the brand?
I would say direct marketing is the most successful one for us, because
Okay.
if we reach our the target audience, who's like the special ed teachers especially, they understand what their students need. They know what level their students are at, so they're very easy to explain what our books are about and how they can benefit them. So just reaching that audience, and through direct marketing, that's I think the easiest way for us to do that. And of course, going to the conferences where those teachers are is also pretty critical.
Gotcha. Well, starting a brand in 2016 is amazing, and being successful here today in 2024. What advice could you give an entrepreneur that's looking to start a brand this year?
I would say be patient and be persistent. It takes a few years typically for a brand to really pick up. And what I have seen from other entrepreneurs who started, at the time that I've done, or maybe a little bit later, they didn't have the patience and they didn't have the persistence, and they gave up and they jumped to other ideas. But if you have an idea that you really believe in, I mean, you wake up in the morning, you say, "This is what I want to do all day, every day," then stick with it for enough time to say, "Now this is becoming a person of its own." When a baby is born, they can't talk, they can't eat, they can't walk. So you have to really be patient and nurture that baby until they're able to stand on their own. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that patience.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want listeners to know about any of the other books or anything that I haven't asked you?
So I would love to explain at where they can find us,
Yes.
if that's okay. So our website is simplewordsbooks.com. So if you go to our website, you can read a sample chapter and look at our scope and sequence details for each book. Again, at simplewordsbooks.com/scope. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. We have a lot of buttons on our website. Contact me or send a quote. I read every single email, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions. We are here to help all the teachers who are working so hard in the classroom to help the students who need.
That's amazing. Well, I really appreciate your time and coming on the podcast today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.